Hey guys, this is Maria from J&M Garden. So today I wanted to give you the first of weekly garden tours for April, possibly May, just because there's so much changing so fast right now and there's a lot that could be missed. I know that just in a couple of days a lot has happened. So let's start with the daffodil patch. So here the biggest change that I'm noticing is these astilbes right here. There is 1, 2, 3, 5 of them. They already have a bunch of new growth. The other thing that is starting to look really good is that lupin over there, and this right here I think is, I can't remember what type of trillium, but it's a trillium. I'll have to go back and look for next week. And that's pretty much the only thing that I see popping up in this area. I did plant my bulbs, like my spring blooming bulbs, really late. Just because like before then I was really tired from my pregnancy, so I didn't really get out here as much as I should have when I needed to. But this limelight hydrangea, I did give it a trim back and it has so much new growth, like it's crazy how much it's grown. So that's doing great. If you see this yellowing right here, I did spray some weed killer, so I think it's starting to work. I'm really surprised at how long it's taking to work, but hopefully it will work. And look at these foxgloves, like, oh my god, look at how big they are. And there is a ladybug on that, probably trying to eat those bugs that are already on here. A huge bug there too. That's really, I think I'm too late. I should have moved one of these two, because they're just way too close, and I'm pretty sure there was plants in there that were gonna come up. But so I got cut off in this spot, but so here I don't see any growth on the angel trumpet tree at all, but the gladiolas are coming up, and this hosta has come up already. Same with the situation. Messed up with the placement of these foxgloves. There's way too many. There's 4 of them. I might move that smaller one and that tiny little one over there to another area. I think these 2 right here, it's too late to move those. But there is an astilbe that already has come up, so hopefully it'll make it. These I still need to move to the backyard. I am glad to see that the weed killer is kind of working over here. It might just be that these weeds are dying. It's getting hot for them. I'm not sure. Don't see any new growth in this area, but I can't tell if this is a delphinium or a larkspur from seeds from like what I planted last year, but that yarrow looks really good, and this is like a red yarrow. The astilbe is coming up in this area, so that looks good. That's an olive tree. This is Whisper. She's a really sweet cat, but she's not a well trained house cat, but she's a really sweet cat. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Here, I did add this sedum and that little sedum over there. And then I can see a little fern coming up right there and more gladiolas. But again, no new growth on the angel trumpet trees. I think I messed up because I think that I should have mulched them, and I did buy mulch, but I mean, honestly, sometimes I plan on doing things and it just doesn't, time just gets away from me. But anyways, here's the baptisia that has already has a bunch of new growth. Another astilbe. That's just a little tree I planted in there. And the only other thing that I have over here is I need to plant out that astilbe that I didn't even know was still there. And that is our fig tree. I did plant a bunch of succulents in this pot, and I think the birds or squirrels were digging them out over the winter, so that didn't work out too well. But the thing that I do see is in this area we have hardy bananas on either side, kind of creating a walk, like a gateway kind of into this side of the garden, and those have started to come out, so that's really good. This right here is a lilac, and I have one on each side flanking the hardy bananas, which are already starting to come up. And this is crazy because just a couple of days ago this had no leaves at all. And pretty much everything here is for a project that I have coming up. So yeah, that's pretty much it right here. The camellias look really good. Look at how much the oregano has grown. So I weeded this area, and like literally like all behind there and there and there, that's everything that I pulled out. And I think that these plants have really appreciated the extra space, and then just not having to compete with everything, because they look way different. I honestly didn't even recognize that geranium. Desperately needs to be planted out, but look, it's already blooming. And all of these yellow orange flowers are wallflowers, and they smell really good. So I love those. And I grew all of these from seed. Like all of the ones that I have in my garden, they're from seed. Alright, so let's walk over to this area over here. This is just a pot that I have a bunch of daylilies in, and they have tons and tons of babies. But these hollies, like, I'm almost scared to walk by them because they're just buzzing with bees and wasps, and I didn't really know why, but then I looked a little bit closer and they just have a bunch of little blooms, and it's covered in pollen, so tons of little flowers. But yeah, it makes it a little bit scary, and my faucet is right behind it, so I have to walk back there a lot. So I think that at least for a while I'm gonna be getting water from the backyard instead of over here, because it's a little scary. But here, again, the other difference is all this astilbe has flushed a bunch of new growth, and that's really like all I'm seeing in this area. There are some bulbs that I planted. Those they haven't bloomed yet. I know I planted those along with all the other alliums that didn't come up, and I can't remember what they're called, but I did record it even though I didn't upload the video, so maybe I'll go back and reference for next week. Alright, real quick, these tulips that are in this container up here, these Jasmine had picked out herself, and these are parrot tulips, and I think this is the first time I see them bloom, and I really wasn't expecting such a large bloom from a tiny little bud. But yeah, they look good. Alright. Here's just the hellebores, and that anemone. It is starting to fade. It was a really bright purple. Alright, that's pretty much it. I haven't really planted anything new in these areas. Those are just dianthus that have overwintered, and wallflowers. That's pretty much it. So let me walk over here to what I call my pollinator garden. And it's crazy because I mulch, and then my neighbor has a bunch of cats that come and just mess up my mulch because they come and use it as their litter box, and that sucks. But I mean, what can I do? But over here, all of the perennials that were already here are popping up. That's a variegated Joe Pye, or an American Eupatorium, and that one is gonna be so tall once it starts growing. I did split that daisy into two, and so I planted the other half on that side. It looks like it's struggling a little bit, but it's not dead, so hopefully it'll stay alive. Yeah, I'll have to come back out here and redo the mulch a little bit. But yeah, all those three purple coneflowers, 1, 2, 3, are looking good. And there's bees everywhere. I mean, it's a little scary. The sedum looks great. I'll probably move that sedum once I see where I have gaps. I'll try to move that sedum because I don't want like that randomness of sedums. I just want those two. So I'll move that one later. Alright. And then over here, this clematis is just full of buds and is about to start blooming. It looks really good. I might cut it back after it blooms because it looks like, well, I haven't been cutting it back and it looks like all the new blooms are at the top, so I'll probably do that. These tulips are new. I planted these in the fall. This purple one is really pretty. And I did plant an obedient plant right there. It's looking good. Those irises, I dug up like half of them and put them into other areas of the garden because I felt like they were getting a little bit too crowded. But I think I like the yellow in this area a lot. So since tulips aren't perennial, I think next year I might put some daffodils in here. But the peony came up, and then these tulips, I don't even remember planting yellow tulips, but they came up yellow and orange, so I guess it's good and it's fine. They look good. And then there's some more wallflowers. I totally kept on trying to get out here and record these because these tulips look so good when they were in bloom. I mean, they're done blooming now. That one is the same color as the one on the other side. I think I had done like half and half of each packet for this area. But yeah, the white ones are done. The purple one's still going. And there's maybe 2 more that still need to bloom. This lamb's ear loves it here. It's huge. I've taken cuttings from it and made new ones. This is another one that I made. And it just loves this area. And this peony is way ahead of the other peony. There's a huge bug on it, but look at all the buds that it has on there. There is supposed to be a baby Joe Pye in each of these beds, one on each side of the driveway, but I don't see it. And this little thing, I'm gonna have to put a stick or something to protect it, but that's a star magnolia. So I'm really excited that it overwintered and is still alive. And then I put new boxwoods in this area. So hopefully my dog doesn't kill these as well with his pee, his killer pee. At first, I cannot, oh my gosh, I cannot even tell you like what a difference like 3 days makes in the spring, because I literally had not had not come out here to look at this area because we weren't home in 3 days, and like a lot of these things were not in bloom, or they just hadn't sprouted yet. Like these hostas right there, those hadn't come out yet. I had seen these start to come out, and I was thinking that like my hostas had died over the winter because they just weren't coming up. And I was like, oh my god, like I guess having a cold winter is really important to hostas because they just weren't coming up. But I guess it was just a little bit too early. But this right here is an epimedium. It's blooming. It has tiny little blooms. I actually have to move that plant because once we cut down the 2 trees over here, it makes it so that these plants get way too much sun. So there's a lot of plants in this area that I have to move now because they're getting way too much sun. But that's one of them. And then these tulips have frilly edges. I'm trying to get it to focus. There it is. They're really pretty, and there's a few more that still need to bloom, but there isn't that many. All the hostas that were around the trees have come out. Didn't expect those. I mean, they literally just came out this week. And that angel blue hosta over there, if I see it start to scorch, I will move that one as well. Because these trees used to provide so much shade and now they don't. But we'll see how that goes. And then in this area, that I can't remember, I think that's called a Coreopteris. It's really short, but it's already blooming, so I don't know what's up with that. But there is like 1, 2, 3 coneflowers. They're not really purple coneflowers that I planted last year that are coming up. This right here, this tiny little thing, let me see if I can get close to it. That right there, let me point at it. That is a Magnolia saucer sapling, or seed sapling, I think is what you call them. And I'm glad that overwintered as well. And then I did put in 1, 2, 3 azalea bushes here. Hopefully it's not too sunny. I am gonna put another tree in this spot. I had a red maple tree, was right there, but I didn't have this area well defined for my husband, so when he mowed the lawn, he thought this part was part of the lawn, so he mowed over it. Which, you know, I can't blame him. Like, you can't really see because some of the grass has grown too much into this area, and so it's really hard to see it. So we'll see what happens with that. I did put that clematis, that thing right there, into the ground. I don't think it's gonna make it. It was hanging on a wall basket, and then the wall basket fell off the wall and the roots were exposed, so I think that's why it died. It's a bummer. It was a really pretty flower. I did cut back these asters. They're wild asters. But I like them, so I'm gonna keep them. And then over here, I don't really have anything new to show you guys because there's nothing blooming in this area. I did notice that this peony came back after it died back last summer. I planted 4 and only 2 of them have come back. Let's see real quick. Last time I showed you guys the garden, This I don't think was coming up yet, and now its blooms are almost open. But this is a variegated Solomon seal. It's super cute. I love this plant. Astilbes came up. And then the last thing is these white tulips came up for this area. And a white daffodil. And there's another one right there. So that's it for this garden tour. I hope to see you next week. And thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for so you can get all the notifications. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.